And you see the weather absolutely perfect. This is the Princeton Tiger team, a team that knows how to win the big games. They're on a tremendous win streak. They are coming into this game undefeated and the defending champs.
26 in a row. Bill Tierney's done an outstanding job. They're 13-0 this year. They won a couple close games early in March, 1-goal games. They coasted through the Ivy League schedule, and they beat UMass by 2 last week. There's Tierney. They've got 3 national titles in the 90s every even year. 92, 94, and 96.
Syracuse took the odd years, and we look at Bill Tierney, who really has put his personality stamp on this team. They do not make mistakes. Tierney learned his craft through Cortland State at Johns Hopkins, where Quint played. This team really plays a beautiful style of defense, team defense. They will not let you get easy shots. They have slide packages, Quint, that complete 2, 3, and 4 slides.
Yeah, they're going to make it very difficult on Duke to score goals in a half-field sense. They're very aggressive. Take a look at Duke. The head coach Mike Pressler, in his 7th year, done an outstanding job. This is their first Final Four. They've got a very athletic squad, a big squad, a fast squad. They look to score in transition.
Mike Pressler built a great program at Ohio Wesleyan. He went down to Duke and really rebuilt this program. This, as we mentioned, is his finest team. 13 seniors dominate this team. Tierney is worried about that as you look at Bill Tierney, because this Duke Blue Devil team actually mirrors the '92 team of Princeton that won their first championship. Princeton did not really make any championship waves until that year. He had a senior-laden team. Princeton is worried that this team could do what he did in '92.
Yeah, this Duke team is battle-tested. They've been in 7 one-goal games. They're 6-1 of those ball games, and they're led by Joe Kermser in the nets, 63% save percentage, which is excellent in the ACC. He's facing some top-quality shooters week to week.
And Patrick Cairns is a guy you know well. You've worked with him. This is a guy who maybe doesn't get enough credit because he has the best record in lacrosse over the last few years.
35-3 as a starter at Princeton. He's got a national title in his back pocket, looking for a second one.
Here goes the face-off, opening up today's competition between Duke and Princeton. Face-offs will be critical. Duke, about a 500 face-off team. They'll rely on Scott Diggs, a sophomore, huge size again, but the numbers aren't as good as Mitchell and company from Princeton. Duke wants the transition. Princeton wants to really keep things at their tempo. Duke gets first possession. They work it back behind the goal, and this is John Fay, the great finisher, now working against Beckett, the matchup we talked about. Back to his brother. He's worked with his, or rather Scott Allen, number 5, who really has been a surprise defensively. And now go to the midfield. Canella, number 15, keep your eye on him. He has the ball, and he'll give it up now to his teammate, who will really get things electrified with their offense. Jared Fruit had the winning goal last week. He's number 28. Working inside for the shot, trying to get off the defense for Princeton again. Quint, 2 or 3 slides. They get 3 guys on you. You have to give the ball up if you want to be successful.
They got a triple team there. Ben Strutt stepped up, gave him some help. If you're Duke, you've got to draw that slide, draw the attention, and then make 1 or 2 passes to the backside. Princeton is very ball conscious. They slide, they're very aggressive. You've got to draw the double team and move it.
And they didn't do it. Consequently, they lose the ball. John Hess now, quarterbacks against the big defense. This will be Stille going against Hess. They work it out now to that good-looking midfield for Princeton. Lawrence Smith, number 43, was an attackman, and he gives it to Jason Ozier, the basketball player. They work it around now. Eichelberg on the far side. That's a great midfield for them. Ozier, Eichelberg, and Smith. This midfield for Princeton will play the bulk of the game.
Yeah, they'll play about 80% of the game. You've got to wonder, in the hot conditions today, it's about 85 degrees, whether that's going to be a factor later on. But they certainly are sharp on the offensive end of the field.
That was Hubbard, the great shooter, who didn't quite have a shot. He wanted Patrick Doyle locking him up. But Princeton controlling the ball beautifully. Good shot in there by Ozier, but he didn't take it either. Look at this team by Princeton. They had some shot opportunities when they're really waiting to get the shot they want. Great strip. There's the one-on-one that they want from Tim Knowles, and it goes up transition. Key to Duke. Duke wants to push the action. Here goes Ehrman. He'll look to give it off, and they'll try to finish with Fay, but Diggs could not collect the ball. Sophomore Diggs missed the pass from Ehrman, and that was the transition style they lost.
That's a little Final Four nerves there by Scott Diggs, but that's a great example of what Duke's going to try to do today. They're going to try to play tough defense. They don't slide as much as Princeton does, but they're going to hammer away at your lower hand and get the turnover. Lawrence Smith lost the ball. Duke gets it off the ground, and they run. That's a key. They've got to capitalize on those transition opportunities.
Cairns now will try to get the clear going, and the riding team in there for Duke. Spino, number 2, trying to keep some legs fresh. Here goes Princeton driving in to try to get a good shot. Great catch. Controlled by Hubbard now. Hubbard has the guy that really has size for Princeton. He's about 6'1", closer to 200 pounds. He can run around you or over you. And what a great shooter. Winning shot last year for the championship. Look at that rocket shot. Hubbard just puts that one on the ground, beats Kermser for the first goal of the day, showing you the great velocity that he has. He just set up the defense and rifles the low shot. 1-0 Princeton, and we are still in the first quarter, about 3 minutes gone.
Phenomenal shot by Hubbard. Decent defense by Doyle. He kept him on the outside, but Hubbard just drops his stick, beats Kermser low. Here it is again. Doyle's got to get into him a little here as he turns for his right hand. He's really working hard for that right hand. I think if defensively there, you want to give him that left-handed shot. Certainly don't want him to come around with that right. And if he does, you got to get a stick on stick as he shoots. But Hubbard showing a little more versatility.
It really wasn't a bad defensive job, as you mentioned. That's what Duke wants. They want the one-on-one setup. It was just a great shooting of Hubbard that got the measure of Kermser. Duke now controlling the ball in their offensive end as Ed Fay brings it all the way back out to the midfield. A team that really initiates a lot of offense from the midfield. Travelstead back to John Fay. He gets over to Allen. They work around the outside. Don't forget, last time Princeton had the triple team, they didn't give the ball up and they lost it. Let's see if Duke reacts a little bit differently now as O'Donnell brings it down.
This is the second midfield group. Look for Hartopoulos with the ball right there. He's the main guy in that unit.
Hartopoulos takes his shot, but Cairns comes up with the first save. So far, Cairns with one save. Kermser missed his opportunity. It's the 1-0 lead for Princeton. Our first semifinal action on ESPN2. John Hess controls behind. Look at the big defensive rack checks behind. That is tremendous pressure put on by Stille. Hess, not a lot of size, but a very, very crafty player.
Stille's the faster of the three Duke defensemen. That's why he's covering Hess.
Massey takes on Ernman. Massey can do it all. Good feeder, great shot as well. He likes to go one-on-one, and Ernman strips him for a moment. Massey gives it back up to Hubbard. Princeton taking their time, taking some minutes off as Jason Ogier works down behind. He's going to take Amon. This is Mark Amon, short stick defenseman. We'll take him one-on-one. Jason Ogier plays two sports for Princeton, basketball and lacrosse. Played both sports in one weekend this year. Shot goes wide. Kermser had it measured, but backed up beautifully by Ogier. Back into the crease again. They get the deflection. A redirect shot from the crease. Lawrence Smith, who was really an attackman, there was no room for him on this attack, so he's playing midfield. Tremendous shot for him. 2-0 lead for Princeton early on.
Terrific handle by Smith inside. 20th goal of the season. Ogier with a gutsy feed there. Smith wasn't very open, but he managed to get the handle. Watch Smith using his height. He's about 6'3", lunges for it. Just one touches it past Kermser. Nothing you can do there as a goalie. Defensively, you've got to check up inside, but Smith with a terrific handle.
Smith is definitely a big offensive plus in the midfield. A guy who will end up in 2 years being one of the offensive stars in the attack end of the field once these three guys graduate, but he won't get a chance until then. Princeton again controls the face-off. Long stick. Christian Cook gets it from the wing, and it's like timeout called, a 20-second timeout called by Princeton to maintain that possession.
Princeton, timeout.
Tierney there, firing up his troops. 2-0 now. One thing you want to mention about Duke here, Quinn, is they've been behind before. They get behind early a lot of these games. This team this year has measured up to that kind of pressure.
Yeah, last week they were down 2-0 against Hopkins on the first two shots. This week a similar situation. I think it's the senior defensive unit, the senior goaltending. They relax and they know that it's a long game. It's a 60-minute game.
For Princeton, they've got a winning streak on the line, and Jesse Hubbard talks about the pressure of being on top.
I don't think we're, the overwhelming favorite. I mean, we have a winning streak going, but it can end at any time. And I think we pretty much feel the same as last year. But the young guys have another year of experience, which is good. But we're not any more confident this year than last year. We're not any less confident. We're just eager to get down to business. But the winning streak really means nothing at this point. I mean.
Well, right now it looks secure, at least in the start. We're about 5 minutes into this first quarter of action. Hess inbounds the ball. Princeton with a 2-0 lead. They've had 2 shots. They've got 2 goals. And Duke trying to set up and get comfortable against the great Princeton Tigers, the defending champions in Division I. Now they've got Amon again lined up with Craig Katz. And they'll try to isolate that matchup. Short stick defense is something that a lot of teams these days try to isolate. Erdman now Taking on Massey, far side. Massey gets inside. Great move, one-handed shot, and the third goal of the game. Massey making it look ridiculously easy. He goes right by Ernman and then one-hands it past Kermser, who has not had a chance to get comfortable. Kermser's rattled, 3 shots, 3 goals, and Princeton on a 3-goal roll.
That's a tough one for Kermser, but watch the slasher. Massey taking it right to the heart of the defense. One-handed, maintains control. Kermser kind of inched out at him. That's 3 shots on goal and 3 goals. Here's Massey going full speed left-handed. Ernman kind of lost his feet there, and Massey got a step in front. Certainly that matchup favors Princeton, I think, because of Massey's speed. Ernman's got to get in tight.
Diggs gets the face-off, and John Fay finishes off that transition. Textbook Duke Blue Devil offense. Diggs, the sophomore, tremendous size, just said, we've got to end this right now. And Diggs just brings it right downfield and gives it to the finisher, Fay.
Diggs is a workhorse, and he's got excellent speed. He looks like a tailback in football. He comes in and finds Fay. If you're Princeton, I think you want to stay on John Fay right there. Beating Cairns to the near pipe. 51 goals on the season for Fay. Just a natural-born goal scorer.
And that's a new Duke record in a single season. Tremendous year for him. We now have a 3-1 score. This one's a lot of scoring. We only have 6 minutes gone in the game. Face-offs. Duke leads 3 to Princeton's 2. And again, Princeton with Massey driving in. He gets in the crease. It'll go to Princeton. It'll go to Duke, rather. That was Massey again driving in, trying to take advantage of that matchup that he feels comfortable with against Ernman.
They're not isolating the short sticks as much as we thought. They're taking it right to that Duke defense with Massey and Hess, where they think they have the superior quickness.
That time, Diggs came down, didn't waste any time, just took a shot on Cairns, and Cairns looked very comfortable making the save. Duke probably has 1/4 the possession time. They're taking not much time off the clock, and Princeton just really working the offense till they get the shot they want, as any champion might. This is Hubbard, the great shooter. He has 1 goal already. He's beaten his man, but it goes wide to the right. That time he got a step on Doyle. The slide came by Ernman. Shot went right by Kermser, who has not had a chance to get comfortable. Backdoor shot, and another great one by Smith. Lauren Smith shooting down for the left-handed shot. He's got great size, as you mentioned, Quint. This is goal number 4 for Princeton. 4-1, 3-goal lead, 2 for Lauren Smith, and the same kind of slash and cut. He's got such a great quick release once he gets it. Exceptional vision, peripheral vision by Hess right there, finding Smith on the near side. He wasn't that open, but the pass was right on the money. Their stick work was sharp yesterday in practice. That is carried over. Credit Hess with a beautiful assist, quarterbacking the offense, and credit Smith with a beautiful shot. Nothing the goaltender could do there. Duke has got to cover the cutters in front of the cage. Smith was defense both times, and you talked about his size really paying dividends for him. He's a guy who's 6'3", long arms, and he really gets after that feed. Princeton knows how to feed him. They get it out in front of him, and he pulls it down. 4-1, about halfway through the first quarter. A lot of scores for Princeton, and that has to concern Pressler. The matchup in its simplest form today is this attack against this defense, and so far it's been all Princeton. Kermser has not gotten comfortable. 4 shots, 4 goals. That's a nightmare for a goalie coming out in front of 20 to 30,000 people. You want to make that first save. You want to feel comfortable. You want your defense to have some confidence in your abilities, and then to let the first 4 shots go in. It's going to take a lot of poise for him to get back to where he wants to be. Eichelberger trying to set up the short stick defender O'Donnell. Now they get rid of it. They lose it on the clear. And Massey brought it down. Didn't like the numbers that he saw, so he just settles it up again. Lauren Smith, 2 goals already. A Tapman playing midfield. He takes the right-handed shot, wraps it around Tyler Hardy, the long stick midfielder, playing defense on him. You cannot give this Princeton offense second chance opportunities. Duke is playing far too much defense. They have got to handle the ball out. Massey again, redirects off the cut. They're making it look so easy. Massey comes off the right-handed shot and burns past Kermser. I wouldn't be surprised if they call a timeout here because the defense is rattled. They're huddled up. They are not comfortable at all. This team is absolutely dissecting their defense. 5-1 the score. Second assist from Hess. Second goal from Massey. That's just an out-of-bounds play where the ball comes in on the end line. They do a little pick action in front, and Massey finishes right there. That's hit number 22. He scored 22 goals in 7 playoff games. Here it is again. Hess, quick release in front to Massey.
2 assists and 2 goals.
And Duke calls a timeout, a 20-second timeout, I believe, to regroup. Wrestlers trying to get them settled down. They've let leads happen before in the first quarter, but I don't think 4-goal leads are that comfortable on any day. And this, of course, is a big time of the game for them to regroup.
From a confidence standpoint, that defense right now, they've got to be questioning their talents, because this attack unit from Princeton, they're absolutely shredding that defense. They've scored on 2 dodge goals. They've scored on 3 feed goals. It's very impressive right now. Massey's got 2.
Duke's only taken 3 shots, Quint, and again, that's not much on the offensive end of the field. They've hurried a couple of shots. One paid dividends on transition. But the big thing for them is to get Kermser and their defense settled. You know, these feeds to the crease are feeds you think big guys would make the check down. They would check the stick. They're right there. They're just giving them a little bit of room, and Princeton is that surgical that they can make the shot.
The precision. John Hess puts that ball right in the perfect spot if you're a shooter.
Fay, 1 shot today, 1 goal, but that's not enough to keep track of the great junior attack from Princeton. They will control that. Watch out. Face off. Fay rides hard. Ed Fay goes over to Beckett. Wolf tries to get him, and inside, there's the big hit from the Duke Blue Devils. It was Witten, but Princeton gets it back. Princeton knew they'd be in some sort of physical battle. This is Bottles. Easy score again for them, as Duke is totally rattled after the timeout. It's now 6-1, a 5-goal lead. We're only halfway through the first quarter. This is unbelievably easy, and has shaken the confidence of the Duke defense.
If you want to play physical lacrosse with Princeton, you better make the plays, because if you overcommit, they're going to nail you. Watch the hit. That's Witten. That's a big-time hit right there.
But then they didn't get the ball, and the ball
Watch the precision passing right there. Massey pulling the back door against Stilley for his 3rd goal. Hess pulling the back door. He's got a great quickness. He faked him to the outside, cut back to the middle.
5-goal lead, 6-1. Faceoffs 5-3 in favor of Princeton. And again, they'll come down and control the ball. Changing up on their attack, they get the first unit back on there. Eichelberger has the ball there. He's an ex-attackman, so is Lawrence Smith. So they've got basically 5 players with great attack ability. 5 of the 6 out there right now. Jason Ogier is the 6th, and he is maybe the best athlete on the team.
Yeah, Ogier's built like a midfielder, but he thinks like an attackman from his basketball skills. He plays basketball at Princeton. He's got that good half-court sense of offense.
Eichelberger working against the short stick defense of Ganella. Ganella playing a lot of defense. He's really the quarterback of the Duke offense, and we haven't seen the ball much in the offensive end, if at all. Hold call against Duke. The ball will stay in the offensive end for Princeton. 5:20 left in the first quarter. This is the scene at Burge Stadium, the first semifinal game of the great championship weekend of Division I lacrosse. Leaf Ellsmo, Clint Kesnick bringing you the action on ESPN2. Lawrence Smith now with Tyler Hardy in front of him. Tyler Hardy's a big part of that transition. He hasn't had a chance really to get it going. Duke is used to Hardy getting in the midfield and bringing it down to Fay. Eichelberger. Kermser in the goal, not settled yet. Has let a lot of goals go in. Kermser gets a chance to make a save there. He brushes it aside. Hubbard has been a little off in his shooting. He has 1 goal. It has been wide right a couple times.
That was nice defense by Duke, though. That shot came from about 12, 13 yards. Not the greatest angle. That's the one that you want to give Hubbard, the left-handed shot from the perimeter.
Hubbard now gets it up top. Greg Katz brings it wide. Tyler Hardy trying to rag him with a long pole. Hess behind, right on the end line, all the way over to Massey. Massey's got Erdman in front of him. Massey has looked impressive already. This attack for Princeton has scored for 2 years in a row more than the entire Princeton team did in Tierney's first year. These 3 guys working on the far side. Stilley being very careful.
This is a Princeton team that can control the ball for 4 to 5 to 6 minutes at a time. They have that much patience and that much ball control abilities. They just dictate the tempo. You're forced to play their style of lacrosse.
Greg Katz gets the ball up top now. He's going against Amon. Katz will fire, and Kermser finally gets a piece of 1. Good feeling for Kermser. He finally gets a hunk of 1 cue, and that'll help him in the goal. Erdman now, as they push upfield. Wants to get to Amon. He doesn't. Herman had a mini in front of him, didn't give it to him. Now Tyler Hardy comes down, looks, and Princeton is back there. Everybody waiting. Princeton really got in the hole quickly and took away any transition opportunity. Ed Fay gives it over to Allen. This attack for Duke, an opportunistic one. Great finishers. They like to initiate more in the midfield. They need to sort of set these guys up. Good shooters. They don't have a guy like Hess that can hold the ball for minutes at a time. Allen will get attacked because of that very same reason. Christian Cook working on him. Cook out of Denver. Up top into the middle. This will be a shot opportunity, and it's high. That was a great chance for Duke to get on the board. They had a shot with Andrew Travelstead. He should have canned that one. He missed high.
That was a terrific look by O'Donnell. He drew the double team. He found the player open inside. You've got to cash in when Princeton makes a little mistake there. They didn't get the second slide. They went hard to O'Donnell. Someone from the backside's got to help out inside.
Ed Fay, who is a starter late this season, didn't start the season as a starter. Had the ball behind. They get it inside to John Fay, who gets triple team, and that'll be a penalty. Look at the attention Fay got. As soon as he got the ball, Quint, 3 players from Princeton just came right to him and clamped down his opportunity for a shot. They were not going to let Fay shoot. Watch it when Fay gets it. 1 guy, 2 guys, and the more will come in. 3 guys. Princeton, 4 guys. They all collapsed on Fay as soon as he got the ball.
Well, if you look at the stats, Fay's came into this game with 50 goals. The next 3 goal scorers have total 50 goals. So, I mean, Princeton's focus defensively has got to be Fay. Don't let Fay beat you. Let's let the other players beat us.
They don't have to worry about him getting an assist. He probably was going to take that shot, not look for the assist. First extra man opportunity for Duke. They've got to make these really pay for them. They'll have a chance here. 5 defensive players against their 6, and they tried to go backdoor to Fay, and it went out of bounds. Let's watch how Princeton now will take advantage of this and try to maintain possession. It was a personal foul, minute penalty. Ball will be taken out of bounds by Ben Strutt.
Strutt's got excellent speed. There's John Fay. Canton, New York, which is about 2 hours north of Syracuse, near Ottawa in Canada. And he plays during the summer with a lot of the players from the Indoor Lacrosse League, Charlie Lockwood and Tim Sudan, and that's really why he's a great shooter. Practices on that small goal during the summer, comes out to play for Duke on the 6x6. It's a big difference.
Massey bringing up. They brought Massey all the way down to the defensive end of the field because of his great stick handling abilities, and he's going all the way upfield against Tim Knowles. Long stick defender can't take it all the way. There'll be a penalty against Knowles. Push with possession. It'll be a 30-second penalty.
That's going to be a 30-second foul. Watch it here. Knowles just wraps into Massey and just shoves him with his elbow in his back. A blatant push. Princeton will go on the man up. 34% for this Princeton extra man. They really can zing the ball around. Sometimes they'll do set plays, but a lot of times they'll just freelance.
Big test for the defense that has been tested already for Duke, and now this is yet another test for Kermser and company. Kermser has not gotten comfortable. Duke has dissected them, but their offense 6-1 they lead. First quarter, Hubbard with a rocket that hits the pipe. Bounces out, Hardy can't get it. Hardy gets nailed, and that's a personal foul they're going to call against Kurt Lunkenheimer. I think they'll call high hit on that personal foul. Might have come up above the shoulders. But it was a good hit as far as where he was body-wise. Watch this hit.
Watch this. He'll get him up around the jaw right there. He came high with the stick. We talked about the physical play at Princeton, but here's Lunkenheimer jacking Tyler Hardy under the chin.
Looked like a good hit to me. It's hard to tell.
There's been a point of emphasis by the officials this year to keep those hits down.
I tell you, this team likes physical play. They're smaller than Duke, but they don't mind getting physical. Hess talks about it.
We're excited about it. You know, it's probably the most physical defense we've seen this year, and we're excited to see how we react to their physicality and their size. But I think we feel pretty good about it.
Well, they've stood up to all the physical play so far. This team from Princeton can do it all, and they've matched the physical play. 116 on the quarter. 5-on-5 right now. Finally, Duke comes in and has the man advantage at this point. This is Allen. as they work it behind to Hartopoulos. They rotate now up top. The big cannon from Diggs. And he's wide. They've really got to put some shots on Cage when they don't get that many opportunities. They really have to challenge Cairns.
Yeah, they've got to get the ball to Hartopoulos and Diggs and soften this defense up with a couple 12 to 15-yard outside shots.
Diggs again, far side. This is Fay, the finisher. Up top, Ganella gives it to Diggs, and Diggs finally finds 36 square feet. He nails it, beats Cairns 6-2. Now a 4-goal lead. A very much needed goal for the Duke Blue Devils. They've got to get some confidence going. A lot of time left in this game. It's been all Princeton so far. Extra man opportunity. There he goes.
Diggs, goal number 17 on the season. He's only got 1 assist. So as a goaltender, you know when he catches it, it's coming at you. But that's a nice stick side bouncer, perfect placement. Looks like he took something off that shot. The previous shot, probably going about 90 miles an hour. That one, he took something off it and placed it low. I think Cairns was probably thinking that he was going to go top shelf.
It was a nice shot by a big, strong player, sophomore Diggs. Stuart Darrell in there to face off for Duke. It'll go to Princeton on a technicality. 6-3, Princeton leads in the face-off department as Buttles brings it down. He can't quite handle it, but Michael Berger's right there to do it. Tyler Hardy is comfortable in just pushing it back in. Got 10 seconds to get into the box. 14 seconds left in the first quarter. They're going for 1 shot here, 10 now. As you see the clock wind down in the first quarter. 4-goal lead for Princeton. They want to make it 5.
Okay.
Hess, Massey. Tried to get it inside, couldn't do it past Erdman, but so far in this game, it's been the defending champions taking the Duke Blue Devils to school on what great offense is all about. They have dissected the big bad Blue Devils and have a 6-2 lead. We'll be back to Byrd Stadium for more NCAA lacrosse in just a moment. The NCAA presents the great championship weekend for Division I lacrosse. You're looking at Byrd Stadium in a beautiful sunny day. Leif Elsmo, Quinn Kesnick, 6-2 the score after the first quarter. Princeton really taking Duke to school on great offense lacrosse. Their defense has been rocked as the Princeton band has a lot to play about. Quinn, that defense has never had a chance to get comfortable.
No, they haven't, and they were shredded by that Princeton attack in the first quarter. Outshot 12-6, ground balls 14-6, and faceoffs 6-3, all dominated by Princeton.
And they get the next faceoff to start this second quarter. Checked from behind by Hardy. A shot-saving, potential goal-saving check by Hardy. And that has to be the most disappointing stat, the ground balls. This team, big, strong, and physical, has to really take it to Princeton and ground balls and create transition opportunities. They haven't done that.
No, they haven't. They've only had about 2 fast breaks. One right off a face-off with Diggs, and the other off a defensive stop. But really, the ball's been in Princeton sticks the entire game. If you're Duke, somewhere along the line here, you're going to have to step out, try to generate some turnovers.
Yet, plenty of time left, 6-2, and this team has been behind before. 13 seniors given the chance and the mental strength to come back. Katz takes on Amon. Working against the short stick. Katz looks for the cutters behind. Princeton using the precision that they showed in practice the last couple of days. Quint, we watched these teams practice, and they really can zip the ball around. Hess. Silly working on him. Up front is Hubbard with some room. Doyle trying to stay with him. Hubbard with room. Coming left now. He'll roll back for his right. Takes the shot. Goes wide left. Looks like Doyle was aware of his roll move there and made it a little tougher for him to get off a clean shot.
Yeah, Doyle plays solid position. He'll give up that shot on that severe angle. He's got a lot of confidence in Kermser to make that save. Really, Doyle's not a checker. He's really just a body position type player.
6'3", 205 are his numbers. Look at that shot. Elevator, low to high from Massey. It'll go to Duke as Erdman playing a little tougher. Duke looks a little more comfortable and not pressing. They don't need to press. They need to match up physically with this team from Princeton. They did a good job that time of doing just that, taking away the great shots.
There's Kermser on the backup. He's got the torn ACL in his left knee. That's right, it's a torn ACL. Playing basketball last summer, he tore it. Didn't really realize he tore it. Had it looked at team physicals prior to this season, the doctor said, hey, Joe, you have a torn ACL. So he's either sit out his senior year or play. He's decided to play. Really a freak of nature. This guy's playing with a torn ACL.
They have 2 other players that will see operations right after the season. One guy playing with no cartilage, little cartilage left in his knee, and another that will have a shoulder operation on both shoulders. So this team has shown the grit and determination to stay intact for the full season. They are up against it here. They've got their wish. They're playing the best team in Division I lacrosse, and to prove themselves, they will have to step it up a notch. Harrington's the long stick defender, working out front. Oh, Hartopoulos takes that shot. Nick Hartopoulos really has the good cannon. They like to get to him up top. Comes back out from Cairns. Here goes the transition for Princeton. They will take what you give them. And they bring it down. Christian Cook from Denver, Colorado gives it off to Derek Katz, who gets wrapped hard by Knowles and can't really handle the ball. Goes out of bounds and back to Duke. It looks like Duke is playing a little bit more conservatively, Quint, and is paying dividends, just waiting for the good check, not maybe pressing with their size.
Yeah, they're not going to lose their composure here. Coach Pressler talked about wanting his players to come out here today and make plays. He wants them to make plays, not to be tentative.
Kermser now brings his team up. There's timing zones in lacrosse now to help the transition. They have no restraint to get it into this quadrant of the field. Now in here, you have to get it into the offensive box right there within 10 seconds. They do very easily.
We've got to start hearing a little more from Jim Ganella from Duke. He's really the quarterback of the offense.
He's got the ball now, and everybody talked about him in our pregame discussions. He gives up the ball beautifully. He has great vision and a decent shot. The most assists on the team.
Yeah, he's got 31 assists for a midfielder. That's an outstanding number, and people talk about him like he's a first-team All-American. He's got to step up.
Here goes Diggs. He gets inside of Buttles, but he's double-teamed immediately by the long stick of Harrington, who strips him. Diggs has to give it up. He doesn't. Pays the price. Ganella, smart. Comes back right into the seam of that fast break and picks up the loose ball. Erdman. Now we've got a chance for a little bit of fast break opportunity, but Fay gets pushed back by the good defense of Princeton. It was Luckenheimer who just boxed him out. John Fay, he's got room. Coming in, backdoors it to Allen, who can't pick it up cleanly.
John Fay's got terrific hands. You can see he made that catch, dodged in and put the quick pass behind the cage. I don't think Allen expected the feed.
He put the feed in a tough place. Allen didn't expect it, but also tough to handle, and you obviously see the difference in offense made basically the finishers and another offense in Princeton who really can move the ball 6-7 times in one offensive possession. Ogier brings down, 10:38 left in the second quarter, 6-2 the score. Princeton leads by 4. Lawrence Smith has had a big hand in doing that. Number 43, who just gave the ball up. He's got 2 goals. Was slashing cuts for the left-handed shots. Amon playing the short stick defense on Eichelberger, who isolates behind now. Long stick so dominant in the game, they like to isolate against a short stick midfielder to try to take him on. Smith calls a play. He has Hardy on him. He gives it up. Princeton looking to try to get a shot on the far side. Ogier had a good matchup, but he couldn't take advantage of Keeney.
Terrific patience by Ogier there. He had about a 12-yard shot, but they're so well coached that they're not going to take the ideal shot unless it's there.
Wrapped up by Keeney there. Nice play. Ogier goes wrapped up by Keeney, who takes the outlet from Kermser. Kermser looks a little more comfortable now. Here goes a transition. Chance for a final shot. Allen dumps it down. Fay, far side to John Fay, brother to brother. That is the Duke team that we watched against Hopkins. 6-3. They've scored 2 in a row.
And it all starts with the defense and Joe Kermser with the superior outlet pass. And they're tough when they're running. And it ends up with Fay, one-on-one versus Cairns. No shot.
This is textbook Duke. This is just the way they want it to go.
They get the outlet, and here it is. This is a typical 4-on-3 to the point man, Allen, down low to Eddie Fay across the face of the cage to his brother, John. And you can count that. That's typical. They need to generate the transition, and it starts with Joe Kermser.
So quit with all the dominance of Princeton. This is only a 3-goal game. Duke's still in it in the second quarter. We've got 9:25 left, and they're getting more confidence as they go. Kermser comes out. Looks to start the outlet on the far side and just misses getting it to Witten. They couldn't pick that one up either. That would have been a good clearing opportunity. Knowles couldn't handle it. And those are the opportunities, Quint, that'll cost this team the victory. They've got to make sure when they get possession, they get the clear 90-some% of the time. They cannot give it back to Princeton.
Princeton, they're not going to make many mistakes on offense. When they do, you've got to capitalize. You've got to clear the ball, handle out of your defensive zone, and give your defense a rest. Right now, this defense has been playing defense probably for about 75% of the time. And we're about halfway through the second quarter.
Josh Sims brings it in against Knowles. Knowles makes the big check, and it's down on the carpet. Here comes Amon. Another fast break for Duke. Can they get a finishing shot? No. Princeton's got numbers. They're back in the hole, and they take away one of the fast break opportunities. You know that Tierney has stressed that all week long. Take away the numbers on the fast break.
Good opportunity for Duke to attack here. Princeton, they have 3 offensive midfielders on the field right now.
Didn't get a chance to get the long sticks in there, so let's see if they take advantage of that. Allen behind, Eddie Fay, back to Allen. Duke again, a team that likes to initiate a lot from their midfield position. Donovan behind, far side, they couldn't get it to hit the goal. Out of bounds on the sideline, that would give Princeton a chance to make a substitution. You cannot make a substitution when the ball goes out of the end line. Sideline, you get a horn, and you can put in the people you want to play defense, and that's what Princeton does.
Certainly a better offensive set there for Duke. Early on in the game, they seemed to lack continuity. They seemed to lack, you really couldn't tell what they were trying to get done in their half-field sense. Right now, they seem comfortable. Their passes look sharper. A couple nice picks and cuts inside. They've certainly settled down here.
They really have, and they're only 3 goals down to a team that has dominated this game so far. Princeton has been a clinic on how to play championship lacrosse, but that would be expected because Duke has never been to this game. The jitters are now off, and you will see them play as well as they can the rest of the way.
And I think last week Princeton kind of got a wake-up call against UMass, only winning by 2 goals. Did not play well in the second half. You had to think that all week long in practice, Coach Tierney was telling this team, hey, we got to wake up. We got to wake up. And they did wake up. Conversely, Duke, the emotion of that Hopkins victory probably came out a little flat here in the first quarter.
Shot high and wide by Witten. They've got to put the ball in cage by Cairns, and we got to watch Princeton down, who has a lot of different defensive packages. When we see him go into a zone here with the short sticks on the backside.
Yeah, Tierney talked yesterday about the zone. Didn't expect to use it very much. I think he's just trying to give this Duke offense a little more to think about. They've got to change some things now attacking the zone.
Eddie Fay backside, cannot get it. He was hit in the head, his helmet came off, he's complaining for a foul, he didn't get that call either. Duke now stepping up the contact, but a fast break for Princeton. Katz brings it down, Derek Katz looks for help, gets behind the Massey. The call by Eddie Fay was to the referee because his head was just rocked. The helmet flew off and nothing was called.
No call, that's a surprise. Usually when that helmet pops up, it's almost a guaranteed flag situation.
But another good shot opportunity for them. They got to the right man on that play, Quint. Backside, they can get the shot to fall. Bounce shot. Krumser looks a little stronger now, making a good play. Outlet. Underhand pass. Amon coming up. He's got some numbers now. Amon's got Allen to the left side. He gives it to Allen, who goes down. No. Duke's inside. Up to the midi. It's Hardy. The long stick midfielder who took that shot, and again they go wide of the cage. They've got to put some of these on the cage, and they're going to find themselves getting some more goals. Another transition opportunity for the Blue Devils.
And again, it starts with Kermser. Amon made the nice pass to Allen, and Hardy couldn't finish. We got a foul coming up against Princeton.
This is a makeup call, I think, for the one he lost on the helmet being ripped off, because this was not that judgment call on my part, of course, but this didn't look like that much of a foul, but I think he owed him one.
There he is. Kermser made that save on the shot from Ogier. Not a very strong shot. Credit Kermser, caught the ball and got him running.
When we come back, it'll be an extra man play for Duke. 6-3, Princeton leads at College Park. Byrd Stadium beginning to fill up. The record crowd set in 95 of 30,328. They are looking to better that today. Chances are they could. It's a beautiful day to play lacrosse. Princeton dominated this game early. They're up to a 6-1 lead. Last 2 goals scored by Duke. 6-3 to score now, and they have an extra man opportunity. Quint, big moment for them.
Yeah, they're 1 of 2 on the extra man. They've got a goal from Diggs. Took the feed from Ganella last time. The key here for them, they've got to either get the ball to John Fay down low, or the outside shot from number 22, Hartopoulos, or 25, Diggs. They're the 2 players up on the near side. You can see them right around the restraining line.
Right to the right there, they'll start. Diggs in the middle, big, strong player. Hartopoulos there. The shooters, the big guys up top. TJ Durham on the far side. Now they start rotating around. Ganella will go behind. Ganella goes around in front of the goalie. He's behind. They'll get it to him. That's Ganella. They rotate. They look up top. There's Diggs. Diggs has a shot. Diggs will crank it, and he hits Cairns. Good save by Patrick Cairns, who went down and just blocked that shot. About all you can do in a shot in that velocity, Quinton, is try to block it, I would imagine. Again, the shot from up front. Hartopoulos takes one, and Cairns makes another big block. Wow, that was a great...
Nice passing by Duke, but credit Pat Cairns making two nice saves there. Hartopoulos and Diggs, they both can bring it.
And Quinton, it looks like Cairns is reading low. These guys are shooting low almost every time from out there, and he is down on his knees when they shoot. Might you try to go with the elevator shot, bring it up, drop the stick, shoot high?
Well, both those players, Hartopoulos and Diggs, really have an overhand motion. They're not the type of guy who drops their stick and lift. Faye does have that shot in his arsenal. But Diggs and Hartopoulos is just straight overhand. They get their shoulders into it, and there's a lot of power behind those shots.
Teams at even strengths, the Nike face-to-face matchup right now. This is John Faye against Beckett Wolf. Faye in to finish. Look at that great shot. He makes it look so easy. He got just enough angle to bounce it in. 6-4. 3 straight goals for Duke, and guess what? John Faye has all of them. Hat trick for the great finisher. He has made this a ball game single-handedly.
He has all year long. 53 goals. One-on-one, no slide for Princeton. Generally, you'd think that the Princeton Tigers would get the help there, especially against a guy like John Faye. Quick release. He's got the hat trick. We're still in the first half. 45% shooting percentage this season for John Faye. He's become a better dodger. You know, when he first came to Duke, he was strictly a shooter. Really worked on his dodging ability.
Faye, 3 shots, 3 goals today, and they put Princeton in a little bit of a scoring drought. Face off after the goal. Let's see, holding call, it'll go back to Princeton. I tell you, this guy Pressler, the coach from Duke, really has faith, a lot of good feelings for his big scorer, John Faye.
John Faye is a born goal scorer. He's 50 goals. I believe if he scores one more, he breaks Josh Dennis's record at Duke. 50 goals is a remarkable feat at this level against the talented teams we play. You know, our strength of schedule was rated #2 in the country this year. He's playing against the lead defenseman each week. John Faye was born that way. He was born with a stick in his hand. He can find the net. His uncanny ability to finish. And if we get him the ball in his spot, the chances are pretty good it's going in.
Well, we've seen that today. 3 goals for him, and they've put Princeton in a 16.5 minute, about a 17-minute scoring drought. Tyler Hardy, he can start the fast break. He's off and running. He's got Allen to the far left. He might just fire from there, gives it to Allen. Allen looks to fire. He's got goal number 5. Duke, 4-goal rip, and it's a 6-5 game.
And Duke is fired up. Starts with the best defenseman in the country, voted last year, and you can see Pressler, he's pumped. Tyler Hardy makes the play. Princeton did not want to leave the Faye brothers down low. They gave Allen the shot, and he scorched the twine past Cairns.
Air comes down. It starts with Tyler Hardy, as it has all year.
Lawrence Smith, a little casual on that pass, drops it, and Hardy gooses it past him. Near side to Allen.
Duke looking great. It's back to a 1-goal game at Byrd. Byrd Stadium brings you a great spectacle for Division I college lacrosse. It's the NCAA Semifinals, brought to you by ESPN. Lee Felsmo, Quint Kesnick, bringing you our first semifinal game. Look at the crowd on a beautiful day. It's Princeton, the defending champions, against the upstart #5 seed Duke Blue Devils. Princeton got off to a 6-1 run in the first quarter. Then Duke reeled off 4 goals to really take control of this game. Princeton hasn't scored in about 18-19 minutes. That's Allen who scored the last goal, and Quint, safe to say, Duke feels a little more comfortable now in their first semifinal.
Yeah, they weathered the Princeton storm, and they're back in this ball game. Princeton, they go up 6-1 rather easily, and they've kind of let down since. Sometimes when you have early success, you get spoiled.
Christian Cook was against Ganella on that faceoff. Hardy comes in. Hardy stays on the field, even though they have the offense. Hardy stays on. Now he will look to come off the field. He's playing some cat and mouse games, trying to get open for the offensive shot. Hardy, number 33 with a long stick, playing a few games at the substitution circle.
They want to keep the short sticks of Princeton on the field. They've got Mitchell and Eichelberger on. They didn't want those players to sub to the bench with Hardy.
Princeton does a good job of getting the ball back to their long sticks, and they will bring it up. This is Harrington getting it up to the midfield. And Butters will bring it down against the long stick checks of the Duke Blue Devils long stick player. That's Timmy Knowles. Knowles checks it out of bounds. It'll go back to Duke.
Knowles has made some plays here in the second quarter. Buttles does not have tremendous speed. He's the guy, if you're Duke, you kind of want to shut off adjacent and pressure Buttles. Make him run away from you because he doesn't have that game-breaking speed.
Now the all-important clear. They get it back to Kermser, the quarterback. What they want to do is get the advantage, push it up. You'll know that Princeton will push the numbers back. Far side's wide open. Erdman gets up to the near side. Princeton, I think, would rather have the numbers back in there where they can play defense safely against the charging Blue Devils. Well, they ain't looking for a great check there. It took a great check to get out of O'Donnell's stick. Princeton trying to get it into their possession. They finally do. Blankenheimer gets to Cairns. Here's a fast break opportunity for them. Harrington. Everybody has a defenseman in front of them, so they will settle it down. This is Hess getting in front of Stilley.
If you're Princeton right now, you want to get back to the basics, back to your settled offense that we saw in the first 10 minutes of the ball game. A lot of patience. Attack the goal with your attack. Hubbard, Massey, and Hess. Recently, we've seen a lot of midfield dodging. They got to get the ball behind the cage, initiate from behind Kermser.
Lawrence Smith, a big part of their offense, had some great cuts from up in front. Hubbard also with some super shots in that first quarter. Massey going one-on-one against Erdman. He had some success earlier. Erdman now taking a little bit more patience and positioning. Massey running right by him. Ward call his off-stick hand, pushing away the defensive check. It'll go back to Duke.
Tierney not happy with that, but Erdman with some solid defense. Massey has got the speed advantage. So if you're Erdman, you want to tie Massey up, not give him that burst of speed. Conversely, Massey's trying to lure Erdman into the corner and use a long, about a 10 to 15-yard run to get that extra step. Nice play by Erdman right there.
Massey looked like he had a step, but the ward off gives the ball back to Duke, and now they try to push it up to the attack, almost thrown away by Ganella. No, this is Diggs, the big midfielder, the sophomore. Lives just down the road in Pasadena. Jared Frood, who had the winning goal against Hopkins, gets it back. This is the big matchup with John Fay. Doesn't want to hold it too much. He wants to finish. Ganella again gets double teamed. They know that he is so important. As soon as he got it, they double teamed him. He's got to give it up right away. Did not do it. Harrington comes away with the ball.
Harrington's doing a nice job against Ganella. The matchup on that possession was with Diggs against Katz. I don't think Katz has got the size or the strength to stay with Scott Diggs.
This is Seamus Crooms, who brings the ball down and gets it to Derek Katz. Fresh legs on for the Princeton Tigers. One-goal game, believe it or not, folks. About a minute left in this first half. It was 6-1 at one point for the Princeton Tigers, the defending champions. Duke, in their first semifinal, regrouped, have reeled off 4 straight goals, and have shut out Princeton 6 the 6-minute mark of the first quarter.
20 minutes.
Long time. Here they go. They'll give it on the run. Ganella looks, can't find anybody. Finally lobs it up. Stilley looks to go to the middle. He gets checked, but the ball's still alive. Diggs with the rocket, and he's got rope. 6-6. Duke taking charge of this game. It's all tied with 38 seconds left. 5 unanswered goals for Duke. They have kept Princeton scoreless since halfway through the first quarter.
And they're making some plays. It starts with Ganella. A smart play. He finds Stilley in the open field. And watch his handle by the long stick. Stilley to Diggs makes a nice catch, and he beats Cairns. Stick side bouncer. Again, it's the identical shot that he took on that man-up opportunity. But that started with some solid defense. Ganella controlled it in the zone, made the smart delay, then found Stilley, and they're off to the races.
23-minute drought for the Princeton Tigers. 30 seconds left. Let's see if they use one of their timeouts. I think they still have one left. You can't carry them over to the second half. You've got 4 in the game, including a 22nd. Big goal here if they can get it. See if the defense can rise to the occasion as Hess quarterbacks behind for Princeton. Game tied at 15 seconds left. You see the clock in the first half in the corner. Massey, he's had good opportunities against Erdman. Oh, and they'll give him a penalty. I don't know about that. Massey turned in front of him. He was off balance and he went down. He was totally off balance with Erdman on him all the way.
Looked like solid defense from here. You can see the power of these Duke players. You know, watching them practice yesterday, very impressive. Here it is. This is Erdman against Massey. No cross-check there, no cross-check there. He pushes him from the front. Did not use the middle of his stick. He used his hands. I don't see the cross-check here. That's okay. That's okay. He's using his fists. He's not using the middle of the stick.
And they talk about equal pressure is allowed. You can't push the guy, but that time it looks like Massey just gave it up. They'll hold the ball and get possession in the second half. By holding it, they'll have possession and a man up as the second half starts. But what a first half we have had. Two different faces on this game. Princeton got off to a huge start. 6-1 roll. Fay the only scorer. And then for the last 23 minutes, it's been Diggs, Fay, Allen, and Diggs to make this a 6-6 game in our first semifinal. The Duke team getting set to face a big test. They've held this team scoreless, Princeton, now for 21 minutes. That's really a feat, Quint, but they start the second half looking at that extra man unit.
Yeah, it's a big, about 45 seconds here they've got to kill. About 52 seconds, actually. They've got to kill. Momentum important. Duke has scored 4 in a row. Princeton hasn't scored. 21 minutes right there.
Third time this season they've been held scoreless in a quarter. Not very often that this team goes without some numbers. What a great offense. This, of course, might set the tone for the third quarter as we get set to start the second half. Not a great quarter throughout the year for Duke. You look at their numbers, this is probably the weakest quarter they play.
Yeah, they give up more shots in the third quarter than any other quarter. Princeton's really been consistent all year long as far as their scoring quarter to quarter.
Duke has historically a great first quarter. In this game, it was the second quarter where they come back up to the great offense of Princeton. We're allowed to get 6. And it'll be a man-up opportunity. That's why they held it as the first half-time expired. Hubbard gets it on the right-hand shooter's wing back to Hess, who'll quarterback this extra man. Princeton 0 for 1 in extra man opportunities as they start the second chance. Now they get back to Hess again, the rotation. Lawrence Smith comes out inside. Close shot that almost connected for Jason Ogier. But the big sticks were there, and it went high.
Yeah, Doyle made a nice recovery. Ogier was open for a second, but Doyle got that 6-foot stick in the passing lane. Shot went wide.
Eichelberger very carefully now getting up to Ogier. Ogier, great size guard for the Princeton basketball team. Hess. Up here to Lawrence Smith, big shot there. Massey working the one side, and Hess just nails it near side. Not much angle. And a great job for Hess, just turned and fired, much like Fay did for his shot.
Nice recognition by the Princeton extra man unit. Duke was shutting off Jesse Hubbard. Hubbard backed out, and they went 5-on-4. Here's Lawrence Smith. He'll get the ball down low to Hess. Quick release right there. Hess has got such sweet hands. Catches that ball and gets it in the net before Kermser can really set up. Near side, just dips his shoulder. Second goal on the day for Hess.
Not much angle there, hardly a target at all to shoot for. Great accuracy for Hess, and Hess and Massey have hooked up for the last 3 scores for Princeton. It was Hess-Massey for the last 2. Massey scored the goal before that from Hess. So Hubbard's been shut off pretty well as Princeton takes a 1-goal lead, 7-6 early on. Penalty now against Duke just to get them in big trouble now. They've got 1 extra man goal against, and here's a chance for 2. Face-offs being dominated 11-5 by Princeton.
Yeah, Princeton's had success. Take a look at the first half numbers right now. Shots, Duke leading by 1. Shots on goal, Duke 10-6. Look at the saves in the second half. Second quarter. Kermser didn't have to make any saves in the second quarter. Ground balls, Princeton leading 25-18.
And now, of course, that number for Princeton goes to 1 for 2 in extra man. And this will be another critical time. Duke had some great momentum going for them, Quint. They've got to really toughen it up here.
They've got to watch their fouls. They average about 5 minutes of penalties every game, and that'll hurt them in a game like this.
They've had a good man down unit, only allowing about 20% of opportunities against. Eichelberger up top. They now are shifting Hubbard up to the top of this man down unit.
They haven't faced an extra man unit like this one. When they play Virginia, really the focus is on stopping Knight and Watson. This unit has got about 3 or 4 players who can sting it.
Hubbard now forced to roll up to maybe the top where he's not in his normal shooting spot, but he had a real quick pass down to Eichelberger who couldn't collect it, and they get it down to the clearing midi Amon. Great speed as he gets checked from behind and can't keep it in. Very easily, Massey gets it back with Hubbard. Duke really gave it up without much of a contest. You'd think if he was in big trouble, Quinn, he'd throw it down or something, but gave it right back to Princeton.
Well, he thought he had the speed advantage over Massey. Give Massey some credit there. He took the right angle and went body on body and generated the turnover.
And then got help from Hubbard, and then it was too late for Amon to get rid of it.
Exactly.
Teams at even strength now, and Princeton with the 1-goal advantage now. We'll start the second half. We'll see what their all-even offense looks like. And Quinn, I would suggest they might try to really take some minutes off the clock. Massey, and they control that with a nice backup from Hess and Eichelberger.
They've got to get back to what worked in the first 10 minutes of this ball game, and that's the ball with Massey, Hess, or Hubbard behind the net, working those matchups, putting pressure on those players.
This is Knowles, who's now on Hubbard. Far side, look at Massey, matched up with Ehrman. He's got a shot, and a great save by Kermser. Kermser looking for the outlet. He's got Amon up top. Here goes Amon with great speed. Into the middle. Hardy can't collect it. That took away the fast break. They had the numbers before Hardy dropped the ball. Nice checks down low on Ed Fay. Eichelberger really forechecking there on Ed Fay. Or this is John Fay, rather. Back to Scott Allen, who'll get a lot of pressure. They don't think that Allen can sit on the ball, and they're not going to let him. Ganella. As they balance up with that midfield that they like to put in there, Jared Frood. This is their offensive punch. They're all on the field right now.
Princeton's playing the ball very aggressively here in the second half. It looks like they think they can take the ball away from some of these matchups.
Scott Diggs, great size. Gets doubled, looks back to Ganella. Ganella gets right over to Frood. Frood, big right hand. Plenty of help there for Princeton. Frood's got to give it up. Takes the shot, but off the iron. He had the net, but he just missed it by a half an inch. Ganella gets hammered and can't get it back in. Ball goes back to Princeton. Watch as we take a quick look.
Watch Frood leaning into Katz. He's got a major size advantage. Here it is. Frood at about 6'3", Katz at about 5'8". He just leans in, backs in, and lets it go. And that hits the pipe squarely. You'll see it comes directly straight back out at the shooter. Pat Cairns getting lucky. That's the kind of shot that goes by it. You wait to hear for the crowd. If the crowd cheers, you know you're in trouble.
So here's the matchup. Doyle against Hubbard. They give it up to Hess. Hess with Stilley. Hess now out in front of the goal. Used to playing behind as the quarterback. He can shoot. All three of these guys shoot with great accuracy. 38% for Massey, 41% for Hess, 42% for Hubbard. That's percent of shots that become goals. Massey, great shooter, looking to roll in for the right. Can't get it.
Nice knee by Ehrman right there.
Ehrman coming at him. Ehrman not letting him rest. Amon, now they've got the matchup with Craig Katz against the short stick of Amon. Back to Hess, they'll take their time. Chris Barrier, he's got the short stick defense, and if he will give it up though. Stilley now, over there on Hess. Stilley gets it on the ground, but Hess comes back and gets control. Great stick work for Princeton to get that ball back. Barrier now. As a matchup with Keeney. Keeney looked like a pretty good defensive short stick. We saw him operate in the first half effectively. Good size again for Keeney.
Barrier's got some nice size. A young player, though. He's in really to give Ozier and Lauren Smith a rest on the sideline.
Hubbard, Doyle. Hubbard launches himself in the crease. That's a crease violation. It's a delayed call. They're going to call a penalty. No, they didn't call anything.
It's a play-on situation right there. Hubbard took the shot. Kermser controlled it. It's a play-on. He gets a free pass, basically.
They don't want to take away the fast break, and then they throw it away. So the great defense for nothing. Knowles just throws it out of bounds. They cannot do that against Princeton. 1-goal lead for Princeton, 9:33 left in the third.
They have played defense the entire second half for about 6 minutes. They get the ball on offense. You've got to control the ball. Terrific defense by Duke there. The entire possession. Doyle, Ehrman, Stilley, they all played so well. And then to throw the ball out of bounds is just very frustrating. Kermser with a big save.
And I'll tell you what, you keep giving Princeton opportunities, they're going to can one on you.
They will. They're definitely going to can one.
So we've got to take a look at Duke here, try to get the ball back. Eichelberger now brings it in against Hardy. Defense that's showing a little bit of sweat and toil out there. They've worked hard. Eichelberger with Hardy on him, giving it up to the far side. Jason Ozier now right up top. And some fresh legs in for Princeton with Mark Whaling.
Whaling's got some size. He's a defensive tackle on the Princeton football team, actually an all-Ivy selection. Decent quickness, but definitely he's got the size and the strength.
6 feet, 205, junior. Out of Chappaqua, New York. Eichelberg up top again, and Hardy just waiting for his chance, not overplaying. Hess controls behind, Stilly working him hard. Kermser waits in the goal for the big save, trying to get an outlet opportunity. Hess had the last goal for Princeton. Watch out, Massey coming in. Massey gets nailed again. He got a couple of those push calls earlier. That time doesn't go his way. Here goes Duke. They've got some numbers on a fast break. Trying to get a rocket here into Fay. Low shot. What a save by Cairns. Cairns really did a great job of not settling out low and then getting to the ball.
That's a big save right there. He got his stick down to the dirt at the last second. The ball actually squirted underneath of him. But that's a tough save. Remember, Pat Cairns has been sitting in that cage now for about 7 minutes, the entire third quarter, with no action. They come down, they get a quality shot, and to make that save, that is huge. Again, Duke has got to play some defense.
And they've got to take that shot. They've got to use the transition when they get it. The backside of that is that Princeton gets the ball back for more minutes and more pressure on their D.
There have been very few whistles in the second half. We are already at the halfway point of this third quarter.
And a 7-6 lead, 1-goal lead for Princeton. Hess the only scorer in the last 24 minutes for that team. But they now have a 1-goal advantage. Eichelberger gets doubled, and now they switched up Hardy on him. Whaling again. Good matchup for him as he tries to go on O'Donnell. O'Donnell doesn't handle him very well as they give the ball off now, trying to burn up some of these guys. Grooms inside, good give and go. Hess, what a save by Kermser. Hess gave him 3 fakes, and Kermser stayed right with him. Another chance in close, and that one goes wide. That was a great chance for them to stick it, but Massey pulled it.
Hess gave him the dip and dunk, and Kermser looked like his stick was beat on the play. He might have caught that in the top of the helmet. And Massey had a nice shot from 6 yards. Seldom do you see Chris Massey fire the ball wide.
Eichelberger gets racked from behind. Give it to big Kermser. He does. He outlets. Now it's Whitten looking for the fast break. Not much legs left in that defense. They've been playing for a long time, and they will now try to settle it down.
They better settle it down. They've played defense for the entire third quarter.
Still a 1-goal lead for Princeton, and they've been on the offense almost the whole third quarter. Fay had one fast break opportunity that Cairns just stuck them on. Duke now regrouping on the offensive end. 6 minutes left in the third. Dretler gets it behind. It is Dretler. Seeing some action there, number 6.
I'm surprised to see this midfield unit in. They haven't had the ball much on offense. You'd think you'd go with your first midfield unit on this possession. A very important possession, especially after not controlling the ball much in the third quarter.
Well, they're probably knowing that there's not a whole lot of energy. They can't run them all day long, trying to get some other legs on the field. Shot from way out front. Big hit, misses by Donovan. And that back check puts the ball back on the ground. Princeton can't come up cleanly. Push call against Duke. It'll go to Princeton. So about a 30-second possession, maybe a minute possession for Duke, which is a long one for them.
And 5:20 left. Yeah. Tierney was looking for the slash call against Whaling, number 44 for Princeton. You can hear it up here.
Kermser, he's going to have an outlet. Somebody has the legs. He looks, nobody there. He gets ragged by Hess. Hess all over him. He's out to his wing. This is Ernman. And now the same midfielders are out there, and they've got to be getting a little bit tired. So Dretler brings it up. And now they'll get the fresh legs in the first unit on there. Allen comes out. Fay behind the goal, looking to help. Running around with Christian Cook playing defense for Princeton. Now the big guys are out there. Jared Frood with the ball. But not all quite on the field yet as John Fay tries to get them balanced. Diggs now on the field. 25 is Diggs right now. Great size. Starting center midfielder on that first line, a sophomore.
Diggs has got the hot hand.
That was bizarre. I mean, right through Ganella's stick and bounced off somebody's helmet.
Yeah, it was a header. Right back to Cairns.
And Princeton takes it down, looks for the fast break. They don't see numbers, so they come back out and just give it to Hubbard, the big guy. Doyle, 101. Big Doyle over the head, and they nail him on the double team. Let's see if they get the break going. Frood, not great speed, but he'll bring it up. Hardy still on the field. Nice double team. Frood gets doubled there as they get the possession.
Hubbard got absolutely crunched. And that's a lot of poundage. You can see him right now fixing his helmet.
Adjusting his helmet.
He got jacked.
Tough kid Hubbard is. He had a shoulder injury to begin the season. He missed a few games. Had a separated shoulder. Really wasn't effective, Quint, until the 4th game of the year.
He doesn't have a very big upper body. Notice and talk to him. He's all legs.
Strong legs. Very strong legs.
Strong legs. Quick hands.
Obviously a great shot. He's got enough iron in those guns to get the shot off. Frood now looking for an opportunity. This is the #1 midfield. He's got the big right-handed shot. Backside shot and a goal. Yes. Ed Fay snuck around the back. Everybody was on Frood. The attention was there. Princeton was looking for the slide, and Fay snuck around. They have to get production from Fay to be effective. They got it there to tie the game.
Frood, only a freshman, and watch the vision here. He's got a great sense of the game. He knew he was drawing a lot of Princeton attention near side. Eddie Fay snuck on the backside. Seldom do you see a freshman make this kind of gutsy backside feed. Beautiful look by Frood to find Eddie Fay on the backside. Eddie Fay's story wasn't a starter until about 3/4 of the way through the season. Had his biggest game last week. 2 goals and 4 assists against Hopkins.
Started on a hunch by Coach Pressler, not because he was a big showman in practice, just a hunch, and he worked so well with his brother. They have been effective as a unit since then. Duke in front. They've got a little bit of an opportunity here. They pull back and can't get it off. O'Donnell, double team. Looking for help and finally gets it. Duke's first goal in 13 minutes ties it at 7. We've got about 2:30 left in the 3rd quarter of our first semifinal matchup. Syracuse and Maryland coming up later today, but right now, this is as good as it gets with #5 seed against the defending champions, playing them dead even. It's amazing, Quint, when you think about the start Princeton had 6-1 with about 8 minutes gone in the game, and Duke came back. Hartopoulos shoots it wide to the right. Princeton knows about close games. Princeton's good at it. Let's talk about their goalie, Cairns, and what he thinks about their play in close games.
I think so. It's good to be in a close game, and as much as it wasn't really a good game for us, I think it made us look back and realize that we had work to do. I think we did it, and we're going to come out this week looking to play like we did against some of the Ivy teams. Certainly.
Meanwhile, John O'Donnell gave Cairns a closer game than it was a moment ago. The first lead of the game for Duke, 8-7. A rocket down low from right in his face.
O'Donnell, only a sophomore, his 12th goal of the season. You'll see, he just jukes back and forth, steps inside, finds the seam, and lets it go. You can see Cairns kind of cheating off that near pipe. Took a false step to his left, and O'Donnell snuck it by on the near side. You know, Ganella draws a lot of attention, Hartopoulos, Diggs, and Fay, and there's a guy like O'Donnell to sting you, one of the role players.
Duke has already bettered the Princeton goals against average for the season. 8 goals scored for Duke. This Princeton team has allowed fewer goals than any Princeton team in Bill Tierney's regime, and that is saying a lot. Beating the record held formerly by the team that was anchored by Scott Bacigalupo in the goal. 8-7, a 1-goal lead for Duke. They have now scored 2 straight goals. Ed Fay and O'Donnell matched Hess's goal to give them the 1-goal lead as we approach the end of the 3rd quarter. Their 2 goals scored in a minute and 12 seconds as Eichelberger looks for an opportunity. Kerms are now getting strength from the goal, and the defensive unit here made of seniors knowing that they have a shot at a trip to the championship. Their dream is still alive.
They have dug in, trailed 6-1. And they have really dug in. You can see the Princeton offense right now, how spread out they are. And that's because of the Duke pressure. Duke has excellent speed, and they're physical, and they'll extend your offense.
Dom Starsia of Virginia, who played both these teams, thought the one-on-one matchup would be good. Once their shot in close just goes wide. Crimson talking to his defense.
He's fired up. You can see him. Ozier had an excellent opportunity right there. He got dumped.
Stille. Now against Hess. In close to Hubbard, but he was checked out the last minute. Off to Erdman. Is in trouble. The hit by Hubbard can't get him. Clock down to 22 seconds. Do they have time to get it up? One more shot, quite possibly. Hardy, they'll have time. 15 seconds, but the numbers aren't there. Princeton drops back. 12, 10 seconds. Are they aware? Not much time left. Allen over to the big guy, Johnny Fay. Johnny Fay knows there's not much time left. Working in for a shot. Here comes a double. In close. Shot and a goal. 2 seconds left. Ed Fay becomes the hero of the moment. He scores 2 of the last 3. All the attention was on John Fay. Ed Fay again working behind the defense, gets in the right spot, and he cans the 9th goal of the game for a 2-goal lead.
The Fay brothers teaming up inside. Credit Johnny Fay. He forces this inside to his brother, knowing that the clock's running down. And Eddie cans it between the legs of Cairns. Second goal of the day for Fay. Ed Fay, that is.
Ed Fay, the senior, really his career was over. No big heroics in the picture until he was made a starter, and he turned that attack around for the Duke team. He could be the hero of this game, as Duke now has a 2-goal advantage with 15 minutes left to go. The defending champions on the ropes against John Fay, the great finisher, and the upstart Duke Blue Devils. We've got 15 minutes left to find out who will advance to the championship. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Bird Stadium for the NCAA's production on ESPN2 of Division I Semifinal Lacrosse. This is the best, the biggest weekend in NCAA lacrosse. The Tiger fans, actually this would be the Duke Blue Devil fans, going crazy because their team's ahead by 2. Look at the physical contact that Duke is bringing on.
That's Ozier getting dumped in front. And this is the goal with 2 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Fay to Fay, beating Cairns low. It's been all Duke. They're on an 8-1 run after trailing 6-1 in the 1st quarter.
This is amazing. A dream is what this weekend is all about. The dream is for Duke's 13 seniors to advance to the championship game, much like Princeton did in their first time they won it in 1992. 12-7, Princeton wins in face-offs at this point.
Loose ball push against Duke. Ben Strutt had some problems with that ball on the near side. The near official didn't make the call. The far official made the call. Princeton's ball as they clear.
Well, the controlled offense will find a little bit more pressure as the clock keeps winding down. Princeton has great skill in the offensive end. Duke, a team built on defense. It all rests on their shoulders now, Quint. It's their game to lose or win.
They couldn't. You sensed it yesterday. They looked forward to this championship. They looked forward to playing Princeton, the best offensive team in the country. They yearned for that challenge, and here it is for them.
Mark Amon playing the short stick defense, picked off in midfield by Ganella. Right in the crease, he needs help. He was in the crease and picked it up and finally got some help, but they're not going to get a possession. They've got to get the ball in their offensive zone. They don't do it. Princeton just all over him once Ganella picked it off.
Yeah, Ganella made a nice pick off of that pass, and then the entire Princeton team just converged on him. Popped the ball out of there. Good riding by Princeton. Not making it easy for Duke to clear the ball. And a second chance opportunity. Let's see if they can.
They like to bring Massey up in the ball. Massey will bring it in, number 6. He's 5'11", 190 against Erdman, who's 6'2", 212. This has been an interesting matchup all day long. Massey won it early. Erdman's been having pretty good success. Look at that bounce shot. He gets iron. A little bit of pipe. Hess follows with this one, looking for a left. Can't get it. Whoa, and a foul by Hardy. Hardy was reaching around and got the foul call with a slash to the head. It'll be pressure on the defense again. We've talked about it all day, but they will find pressure again as Eichelberger will have a chance to get a shot off. Princeton with a delayed call. Still a chance to get pressure on Kermser. They're down by 2. Duke leads 9-7. We're in the final quarter. Any time left.
Anytime there's a flag down situation, Princeton will invert their midfielders behind the cage and dodge against the short sticks. It's an automatic.
Ball was down, but now it stays up, and Kermser makes a sensational save on Ozier. Ozier was down. The big defense of Keeney was all over him, but he got off the carpet and went right into the goal.
You can see Kermser never sells out. He never guesses. He stays at home. He waits to the last second. Watch this. Many other goalies here would sell out and guess at this shot at the last minute, but Kermser sees it the whole way. Stays with it the entire way. Princeton with the extra man. They're 1 of 3 on the extra man. In fact, their last goal was an extra man goal as Hess scored for Massey.
Well, we'll load up now, 6 on 5. Another big pressure point for the defense of Duke. They've been under the gun all day. They live and die by the senior defense. There's a shot that goes wide, backed up by Hess.
Duke's got to step out and take that right-handed cannon away from Jesse Hubbard. That's a spot right there at about 12 yards off to the goalie's right. Remember last year in the championship game, beautiful shot beating Sanderson in Virginia.
Well, last time they had an opportunity, they were shutting off Hubbard on this man-down unit. They're giving him space now. Hess burned him on that. Smith gets a little attention. This is Hubbard. He has great range, tremendous velocity. So does Smith. Rocket goes left. This team looking for rope. They're down by 2 with 12:30 left in this game. The defending champions, huge winning streak on the line against this upstart Duke squad.
Joey Kermser being put to the test here.
Hess gets pressured. Big shooter Hubbard up there, left and right. Now Lawrence Smith up top. Massey drops it down low. Still picked off by Mark Amon. He keeps it in the middle of the field. This is where they've gotten in trouble with the great pressure of Princeton. Gives it up. Finally, Ehrman pulls it down. Timeout called by Pressler. Teams at even strength, they dodged a bullet. Quint, the pressure was on their strongest point in their game. Their defense had to play man down. They did it. They still lead by 2 when we come back. 12 minutes left in this great semifinal action. Quint, magic moment for them on that last man-down opportunity.
They did a nice job protecting the center of the field. They packed it in around their goaltender. Princeton took 3 outside shots. Lawrence Smith and Hubbard firing wide. A lot of that has to do with the respect that they have for Kermser. Can't give him an easy save, and credit Duke. They cleared it, and Coach Pressler sensed they're having problems with the clear, and that's why they called timeout.
Now one of their Achilles heels may show up. Duke is not a team that can hold the ball for a long period of time. If they can hold the ball effectively, they can really put a lot of pressure on the defense of Princeton. They've got Diggs now rotating behind, but Ganella can hold for a while. Diggs can. Their attack is not really the whole kind of attack.
Johnny Fay, Ganella, and Diggs, they're the ball handlers.
So they'll move the ball a lot. They're not going to put it back in the hands of a guy like Hess and let him move it around. They'll keep the ball moving and try to eat up some time on the clock here.
They got to rest their defense. The Duke defense has really played a lot of defense in this ball game. Any little rest they can give them right here is fine. That was an intentional wide shot there by Ganella. He sensed he had the backup. They'll get the reset right now. They'll get comfortable. We'll see some of that in the second game with Maryland and Syracuse. Maryland doesn't mind taking a poor shot wide with the backup, and that way they can just get to reset their offense.
This is Diggs looking for a chance to move it in. This team not used to really taking minutes off the clock. They've got to do it here. They've got a 2-goal lead, and if they can just work the clock, they'll put a lot of pressure on defending champion Princeton. Ganella, 15, the experienced senior. The sophomore Diggs gets it down to Allen. This is Ed Fay, the real, Frood, the winner of the game against Hopkins. He's had a great assist of late. The one to Ed Fay, wants the double. Came right behind me, didn't see it. Ganella, this is against Harrington. Harrington has the long stick, will put a lot of pressure on Ganella.
Harrington's a checker too. Ganella's going to be tested here. Harrington's got a nice reach with his arms and that long stick. He's the best takeaway artist on the Princeton defense.
Ed Fay, they're all taking their time moving it in. Fay pushes it this time, and the ball's deflected by Cairns. Out top, this will be a shot. Frood gets blocked by Cairns. Big stop by Cairns, and the freshman may not have wanted to take that shot. He was just anxious because he had a good time in front, good time in room, I should say. 10 saves for Cairns, who made maybe his biggest save of the game right there.
That was a must save right there. Frood with about a 10-yard bounce shot, a little short hop. Pat got his body down on it, his stick and his body. Crucial save. That ball goes in. Things aren't looking good for Princeton.
Well, Princeton is a team that has been opportunistic their whole championship career. It would not be unreasonable to expect that they would come right down here and put one in past Kermser. That's what they hope to do with Massey in control. The big defense of Ehrman. Now they double up top. Diggs playing one-on-one against Katz as they get to the wing. This is the matchup we talked about. The Nike one-on-one. Hess. Massey. Any one of these guys can take it to you. Massey gets caught up with his cleats.
Duke doing such a nice job, just one-on-one. They leave you out there. They're not quick to support each other, but they have a lot of trust in each other's abilities.
Grooms going one-on-one. He gets the check from behind. Sensational check with a back up by Hess. Puts immediate pressure on Duke.
We got a loose ball push inside in front of the cage as that feed was made. Duke dumped the Princeton attacker. Watch this hit earlier at the midfield line. This is Lunkenheimer getting jacked by one of the Blue Devils. Pressler, an ex-football player, the head coach of Duke, played football at Washington in the league and lacrosse. He stresses bringing in big, large, fast athletes, and then he teaches them how to play lacrosse.
Well, he's got his group that he wants now. Look at Kermser picking it right out of the sky. Easy pick up for Craig on Craig Katz's shot. And now let's see if Duke can pick some dividends from this possession. No, they get double teamed in the middle. They've got to get the ball to their offensive end. They've had trouble doing it against Princeton. Keeney tries to get it up. They still can't get it cleanly. O'Donnell throws it out of bounds. It'll go to Princeton.
The key to that play, Scott Diggs for Duke. The short stick was extremely exhausted, ran off the field uncovered as the ball was on the far side. As a short stick midfielder there, you've got to support your long sticks and your goaltender, work back, and then substitute out of the box. Pressler, I'm sure he was tempted to use the second timeout right there.
You get that possession.
Yeah, it's a little early though. 8 minutes to go. You don't want to waste that last timeout.
The defense for Duke has been the story for this team this year, and they have all the pressure on them now against the sensational junior attack trio of Massey, Hess, and Hubbard. This is the best attack unit in the game, by the opinion of many. I would say everybody except the Syracuse team. Here comes a far side shot. Kermser looks it right in the eye, and the outlet to Amon. Amon picks it up with a great clear. He's got Lawrence Smith. Inside, he's got help. He dishes it back to the big guy, over to Allen, down low, and the pull shot was really looked like indecision from Fay. He had John up there. Now they go back up top, picked up, tried to find Witten, couldn't get him, and Lawrence Smith picks it up.
He telegraphed it low. He dropped his shoulder, he dropped his hands, and poofed it. Cairns, 11 saves, and a huge one right there on the fast break from Duke.
Team's exhausted right now. Duke cannot get control of the ball. They had a chance there to really take some time off the clock. They took the shot at Fay, got snuffed by Cairns. Right back to Princeton.
Eddie Fay's got to hammer that one home. Give him one fake and let it rip. Instead, he kind of poofed it.
Or if you have any decision, just pull back. Use the clock. Get out of there. No, I don't want to feel like I'm second guessing this guy because he has been sensational, and the whole Duke team has been. They have a 2-goal lead, Quint, 6:50 left, and here goes Princeton putting more pressure on that experienced defense of Duke. I think Kermser wants it no other way. Shot comes just wide. Behind him, Stilley tries to back it up. He can't collect it, though, so here's Hess with a little bit of control. Hess has been so critical for all the last shots. Watch the wheeling and dealing of Ozier. Ozier wants to go back right. Takes the shot. He's got rope. He goes high and hard right over the shoulders of Kermser. You can't give Princeton this many minutes on attack. 9-8 now. Duke with just a 1-goal lead with 6.5 minutes left.
Coach Kearney going to his big, strong players. Whaling and Ozier. And this is Ozier just leaning in. Duke's got great size on defense. He puts Ozier in. He backs in, and beats Kermser to this stick side. Ozier showing up prime time. Only came into this game with 5 goals and 8 assists. But certainly as far as an athlete who's competed in pressure situations, Ozier has been there. He scored the game winner for Princeton when they played Duke back in 1994.
So this guy knows how to do it. He's got pressure in both sports, and he knows how to play against pressure. Watching the face-off there, Quint. This is when the face-off really becomes critical, and Princeton has an advantage there. Mitchell gets that face-off. Duke had the ball, but they just covered it 12-7. Now Princeton has the advantage there. And isn't that a big advantage when you have 6 minutes left. You got to have the possession. Defense again under the gun for Duke. 1 goal lead for Princeton. Under 6 minutes left. Eichelberger locking up against the short stick Keeney. Eichelberger looks for cutters. Back to Hess. Hess very calm and collected. So quick. Oh, gets a buy the check there. Stilly. They're looking backdoor for Hubbard. Hubbard's been locked up by Doyle for a long time. Don't be surprised for Hubbard to get the ball eventually. He is their game breaker.
2-4 set. They got 2 players behind the cage, 4 players in front.
Shot and a long shot by Eichelberger ties the game at 9. 9-9 as Eichelberger beat the short stick and just laid himself out.
We talk about Duke not wanting to slide to help out defensively, and Eichelberger, he's got a quick change of direction. Watch it. He'll take it underneath, regain his balance, and dive across the front of the goal. You'll see his stick just go beneath the stick of Joe Kermser, and he manages to stay out of the crease before the ball goes in the net. Someone gets a piece of this shot here late. Watch this. Because it kicks up. I think Kermser got a piece of that. Either kicked off with his foot or his stick into the back of the net. We're tied up.
Mitchell comes up with another big face-off, and again, the advantage to the championship team. They know how to win close games. Duke has won a lot of close games this year, but they put intense pressure on their defense. 5 minutes left, game tied at 9. And here goes Hess again under control against Stilly. It's almost like a script that we've seen so many times before. I can almost tell you right now that Hubbard somehow will get the last shot, Quint, and he'll can that thing. Duke wants it another way. It's their dream season. Backdoor cut on Massey. Easy shot. Erdman can't believe it. He turned his back with a backdoor cut for Massey. Easy shot and a goal for him. Now that's 3 in a row for Princeton. A 3-goal game for Massey and a 10-9 lead for Princeton.
Well, Massey's so smart. He'll see Erdman was outplaying too tight. He pulled the string on him. Fakes Kermser, no help for Duke. And he cans it. Here it is, wide open in front. Fake high, shoot low. He kept his feet moving. Nothing the goalie could do there. But Massey playing a little trick on Erdman. I'm sure all game he's breaking out towards the side, breaking out towards the side. And that time he faked and cut towards the cage.
Smart, and again, the face-off controlled by Princeton. That'll be a penalty against Duke. They did call a timeout before the penalty. They're going to give him the push call, technical foul with possession. So Duke is really against it now. Princeton will have a man up. And the wheels may be coming off against this very calm and collected Princeton team who knows how to win these close championship matches. Shots this quarter, 11 for Princeton, only 4 for Duke.
Now the tempo scenario changes completely. Early this quarter, it was Duke that wanted to hold away from Princeton, and now we'll see Princeton control the ball.
Pressure's on the big defense of Duke. They've got to do it in the final 4 minutes. Princeton with a 1-goal lead. Princeton has taken over the game with 3 straight goals for a 10-9 lead.
Osier backing in unassisted. This is Eichelberger flying across the crease. Beautiful effort. And the last goal, Hess to Massey on the back door. A lot of quickness by Hess and Massey. They're up by 1. And they have the ball with a 30-second man advantage.
A lot of pressure on the man-down unit for Duke. This is it. 4.5 minutes left. They have a 1-goal lead. They've got to stop the vaunted offense of Princeton. 1 for 4, the Princeton extra man offense is. Hess behind. They're not going to give them any pressure. They keep everybody out front. Duke does. Princeton with the 1-goal lead. They don't want to take any stupid shots. They wouldn't mind maintaining possession. They've got the ball, and they don't mind keeping it for 4 minutes, and they might be able to do that.
They might. I would be surprised to see them take any shot outside of about 8 yards.
Teams at even strength now. It's 6-on-6, but now we'll see the great stick work of Princeton really pay dividends. Massey takes it out against Ganella. Look at this, short stick matchup. Out of that man-down break, it's Massey who scored the last goal. A tremendous one-on-one player with a short stick matchup. Princeton on a 3-0 run to get that 10-9 lead. Ganella. Massey in no hurry. They might have to switch up something here.
They're going to have to go. There they go.
They finally get some pressure on him, knock him down, and get it into Kermser. No, ball's loose out front, and just swatted wide. Duke had a chance to get it, and they couldn't. Only 3 feet from Kermser in a possible transition, and they couldn't get it to Kermser.
A little hesitation by all the Duke parties involved. There was a ball, there were 3 Duke sticks. They all looked at each other, and there's Hubbard, and he almost took a wrist shot, hockey-like wrist shot, launched it over the cage. They will try to control the last 3 minutes here without a shot and without Duke possessing the ball.
They've got the game in hand if they just maintain the ball. Control the ball now. Jason Ozier. He's got a short stick matchup. Mark Amon playing tough defense to give it to Eichelberger now. They're working the 2 short stick defenders. One's Ganella on the far side there. Eichelberger had that launching across the crease goal. Good move by him. Referees will be reluctant to call a foul now with 2:40 left in the game. Princeton with a 1-goal lead and the strength of 3 straight goals. They've really controlled the ball for, seems like 80% of the time in the second half here. Stall warning from the referees means they've got to keep it in the box. The dotted line's extended. They must keep it in that box. Ozier. Mark Amon playing defense. Referees won't be calling too many here when you really have to lay on to get the call.
You'd have to butcher someone up pretty bad to get the slash call here.
See how physical Duke can bring it on. Eichelberger with control. They're going to have to go out.
Duke's got to make a play here. They've got to make a play. Someone's got to step up and throw some checks.
Ball tipped out by Stille. It'll still be Princeton's ball.
Good chance here. The ball's in the corner. Good time for a double.
If he pressures him from the left side, he can get him outside of the box possibly, but he doesn't put that much pressure on Hess. Stille playing like it's about midway through the second quarter. Don't forget, this is a team that scored 2 goals in 1 minute against Hopkins, so they do have a lot of composure. Stille thought he had a chance to push him out of the box, couldn't get it done. Now time down to 1:40. You see the clock in the corner of the box. Score. Princeton saying, come and get it, fellas. Ozier against Amon. It's not like basketball where you can take a walk to the charity stripe and get it back.
No shot clock either.
You know what's interesting to me, Quinn, is they're not showing off adjacent guys. You know, they're making these easy passes. You got to get out and shut off the adjacent guys.
And this is the matchup. You want either Stille or Tyler Hardy on the ball. Those are your best checkers.
Princeton does not make mistakes. They will hold this ball to the end.
Here's the double team with Kermser behind the cage. They've got the goalie out.
Look at Hubbard coming in and picking up that ball in midfield. They double-teamed the outlet pass. It was a good play by Duke, but Hubbard backed it up beautifully. That could be the game. 45 seconds left.
Timeout by Tierney. They've killed the last 4 minutes. If you remember, that extra man opportunity started at the 4-minute and 40-second mark. They've killed the last 4 minutes without a shot and without giving Duke the ball.
Bill Tierney doesn't need a goal here, but if he does need a goal, he talked to us about how he wants to go about a 1-goal game or how his team handles a 1-goal game.
Yeah, they're exactly like we were in '92 when we came in as the never being to the Final Four team and playing the defending national champs and all those things in the semifinal. This is the round where you can get, you can get upset, and them being in all these 1-goal games will make them not worry about it. Their comeback last week against Hopkins was unbelievable. You got a ball, minute and 6 seconds left, and you're down 2, and still willing to work hard to get it. That's a credit to Mike and his kids, and we know it's going to be a close game, and we've just got to be composed. We've been there before in big games, and we hope that to be there again.
Well, there he is again in another 1-goal game. Duke has not faced Princeton or a team like Princeton, Quint, where they just don't make mistakes. You can't really expect that they're going to make any mistakes. They don't have any weak links in that 6-man circle.
You've got to credit Duke, though. Down 6-1, they rally to take a 9-7 lead. But then the Princeton karma comes back. They have won 7 straight overtime games. They've performed well, pressure games in the 4th quarter. We got to look for a double here.
what we got to look for is, that's what I was going to ask you
Joe
about. Kermser will be coming out of the goal, and that's what Princeton's being talked about right now.
Exactly.
Tierney knows. He says, listen, Kermser's going to come out and double. We're going to have an open net. We're going to have a double team on a ball. How do you handle that? Hopkins elected to shoot. A defenseman made the save, and they paid for it on the other end.
Well, Hess will handle. Hess or Massey should handle here. They've got the quickness. Kermser's going to start in the cage here. They put Tyler Hardy on the ball. He's their best takeaway artist. Look for Princeton to do some off-ball picks. And remember, they've got to keep it in that offensive restraining line.
They put Hardy on Hess. Hardy, the active midfielder. He's very quick. He will attack. He's got 10 seconds to bring it in.
He's better against a left-handed drive than he is against a right-handed drive. He's got that great over the head this way, right here. He's going to try to go for the overhead right there.
Hess looking to control. Time in the game. Right there for you to monitor. Hardy went for it, couldn't get it. Round the over the head check again. Nobody can get it from Hess. Inside look, they're not going to take the shot. Kermser's out, but they don't want the goal, they want the game. They'll take the time off the clock, learned from Hopkins' game last week. Looks like this game is going to end 10-9. Princeton will end up going to the finals against a very tough Duke team. They throw it up in the air as the time winds down. Princeton dodges a bullet. The Blue Devils couldn't quite beat the defending champs, and Tierney wins yet another one-goal game. It'll be the Princeton Tigers waiting for the winner of Syracuse against Maryland. Cairns came up huge in the fourth quarter.
Big fourth quarter. Pat Cairns, 3 or 4 quality saves. Princeton scoring on 2 unassisted goals and a goal by Massey from Hess in the fourth quarter. They outscored the Blue Devils 3-0. You've got to credit the Duke defense. They played just a super defensive job the entire game. Really ran out of gas at the end as Princeton just had too many offensive weapons for them.
And maybe the Cinderella shoe came off when Ed Fay had the fast break. Could have been a 3-goal lead. Looked like he could have stuck it, maybe made a feed. He got kind of tied up with the ball. It goes back to Princeton, and that was the start of the 3-goal run.
Pat Cairns made the play. You're taking a look at him right there. He's 36-3 as a starter. And he proved it today in the fourth quarter. He stepped up and made the big play when he had to.
Yo, get him in here!
Assistant Coach Metzbauer getting everybody in. Princeton, very cool and calm in close games. The fact that they win close games is such an asset to them because they're in them almost every time.
They controlled the last 4 minutes and 40 seconds. But here's the 3-goal run, the decisive 3-goal run. That made it 9-8. Jason Ogier. Eichelberger ties it up at 9, unassisted. This really was a huge goal. Went off the knee brace. You can see Kermser got a piece of that with his knee. And then the game winner, Hesse to Massey and Princeton advances.
Hey, 1, 2, 3, rah-rah, do. 1, 2, 3, rah-rah, do.
Bill Tierney looks very calm and cool. You know he went through the ringer on that game. Duke had him on the ropes, a 2-goal lead in the fourth quarter. It was a tremendous test of wills for the defending champions. Duke's dream season comes to an end, and Princeton will march on to face the winner of Syracuse and Maryland. That's how the brackets look now. The 10-9 winner, Princeton, and this team will face either the electrifying offense of Syracuse or the very competent, patient teamwork of Maryland. 45 minutes from now, we will show you that great matchup. It's the Syracuse team. The Orangemen face Maryland, a rematch of the '95 championship. It's all coming up here from Bird in about 45 minutes.
These two teams went at it toe-to-toe all day. A lot of ups and downs in this game. Princeton up 6-1. Duke then goes on a 7-1 run. Outscored Princeton 3-1 in the third quarter. But Princeton comes back in the fourth. John Fay, 3 goals today for Duke on 3 shots. Did not score in the second half. And Massey, big day for Princeton with 3 goals.
All right, folks, you see Mike Pressler there, ending his dream season. 13 seniors will move on. He'll have to rebuild this team, and Tierney still maintains really the coach that everybody wants to be. He really has a thing going with Princeton.